Welcome to the Houston Hustle, the podcast that spotlights the movers, the makers, and the doers shaping the city we love. Each week, we sit down with Houston's top entrepreneurs to talk who they are, how they built it, the principles that drive them, and what success means beyond the highlight reel. This is real hustle, real stories, real Houston.
Oh, can't see me.
I can see you.
You can slide in.
Here.
Get cozy.
Welcome to Houston Hustle. I'm Dr. Paige Ward.
I'm Dr. Charlie Ward.
And today we have Patrick Anderson with Leader Fitness.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and your business.
Okay. My name's Patrick Anderson. My wife and daughter and I live in Grangerland, which is kind of like Conroe. So we own Leader Fitness, which is a gym just outside of Tomball, right there off 2920. We've been open for a little over 2 years now. Primarily bodybuilding and powerlifting is what we cater to in the community. So we try to reach all fitness demographic though, but that seems to be what our home base is currently. Yeah, it's a awesome fitness facility on our Tomball.
What got you started?
Fitness in general or the gym? Yeah. So I never played sports growing up or doing anything like really active. I skated a lot, like I was a skateboarder.
You were a skater boy?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I did coffee. So I skated a lot growing up, and then actually a series of life events that led up to me being incarcerated for a short period of time. I met a group of individuals while I was incarcerated, and they were like, "Hey, you should come work out with us." And I was like, "I'd love to." So that's what I started doing. I started training pretty consistently every day, and kind of got on that routine of training. And then when I got out, it just kind of stuck with me. And I went to the gym every single day. And it was kind of one of those things that really changed my life for the better, and it became a very strong passion of mine that, it's almost, I don't like to call it therapy because I think that's like there's actual therapy
Right,
that's super beneficial, but like it definitely has a dopamine release and it definitely helps you decompress and reset. And it feels good. So it's super healthy and beneficial, right? But I think for me, that passion just kind of carried over.
You had some entrepreneur skills though previous to that.
I did, yes. Yeah. So if we're talking business related strictly, here's what happened.
I love this.
I started out in IT when I got out. I got a few A+ certifications with CompTIA, Network Plus, Security Plus, and I worked for a few different IT companies doing MSP services, which is like basically the guys who come to your office, set up your routers, your firewalls, your printers, your desktops, like do all the stuff you guys don't want to do. So we had various clients. The company I was working for primarily did oil and gas. So I was with them for about a year and a half. And what I ended up doing was, I ended up leaving the company, and then a lot of the clients kind of came with me, and it wasn't intentional. It was just like, hey, I already had some clients on the side from just friends and word of mouth, and I had built the relationships with those clients. I'm like, well, we don't necessarily want to work with the company. We want to work with you because you're who we've dealt with, right? The entirety of it. So for the better part of that next year and a half, I just cultivated those relationships, and that's what kind of led into the seed money to open the gym. Was really the IT background. I still do that today for a few cherry-picked handful of clients that I genuinely care about and have really good relationships with, even though I don't need to by any means or really see the need. I just enjoy talking to them and helping them, and I think they're good people.
Yeah.
That's kind of what went there.
So I know in Houston there are a ton of gyms. I feel like everybody's opening a gym. And I think a big thing what you just said is relational. So do you feel like that's a big like culture point of Leader?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's, I really think the only reason we've gotten to where we are is because of the culture and the people there. And that doesn't come without hiccups or mistakes, but it's like, in order to build something great with a great group of people, you have to go through some hardship, right? So I think you have a lot of gyms that, they probably started out with that mindset. And then as the years went on, they kind of, maybe the owner stepped away or, the employees quit caring, or so many people rotated in and out. It just kind of became your average gym. Whereas like, we don't really do that. I'm there like every day, regardless. I at least check in at least once a day. I talk to my staff, make sure everything's going well. And then I go, if I'm there, even on like a bad day when I like don't feel super up to it, there's a lot of days where like I'm still dealing with business, whether it be with the clinic or the supplement company or what other various entity that I'm working with, that I'll go to the gym to do my rounds. And like, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm drained. Like I've had 4 meetings, you know, I put out 10 different fires, and I'll walk through there and I'm like, I don't really want to talk to my members right now, but I still do it, right? Because, you know, I think it's important to remember that
Absolutely.
we all have bad days, right? And these are paying members of our facility. This is what they call their home. So, you know, I try to remember that. And I think that's a big point.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you there. I mean, we all have that as business owners. And I think the big thing is one of the things we do is like we have team huddles at the beginning of each shift. And it's like check your energy levels, like because your energy that you put out is going to be huge for your patients and for your clients. And so even if you're having a bad day, you just kind of leave that at the door and have to make sure that you are bringing the best version of yourself there. Now, there's something else you said that like totally caught my attention is I was telling one of my patients about your gym because we're members of your gym. And I was telling like all the extra amenities you have. So tell everybody what extra amenities you have. And then I have another question after that.
Okay, go ahead. So we have an on-site hormone clinic with my partner, Steven. He's a nurse practitioner. We have a contracted medical director who we work with side by side. So we do things like hormone optimization, blood work, peptide therapies, things of that nature to kind of to have the whole holistic approach with everything comes in. Because fitness is one piece of the puzzle, right? And then you have your main piece, which I would consider diet. Like that's the most important one, what you put in your body. But then you have things like your blood levels and your testosterone levels, your estrogen levels, you know, things that play a lot of important roles in your day-to-day life, especially once you hit a certain age. I think it's like after 27, all these things kind of starts changing, right? So, you know, it was actually during COVID that Steven and I, he had started coaching me. We were working out at, there's a gym, Iron Summit. They're actually closing down right now.
Wow.
Yes, I hate to hear it. They had gone through a few different transitions and ownership the past couple of years, but we were training there during COVID because they kept their doors open, which was super awesome. And I remember just looking at them and it was like, what if we like had a dragon's lair that had a hormone clinic in it? Like that was like those were the words he said. Like
That was the start of
that was and this was like probably like 5 years ago. And he was like, yeah, that'd be really awesome. And where he was at in his career, you know, as a nurse practitioner and the experience he had, he was super dedicated and passionate about hormones and therapy and such. And just kind of, you know, once we got the gym open, it was like, we always had planned to do that. And it's just a matter of time. So we had to spend a year figuring out that whole legal rigmarole, which was CPOM, which is this huge thing, which is crazy. But so.
And what else do you have?
The barbershop. The barber's actually a really good friend of mine who I've known. Kendrick and I go back probably, you know, even before I was incarcerated, probably 13, 14 years. I mean, I've known him forever. So he's there full time. We have a licensed massage therapist, Rachel, with Raw Modalities. That's her space. She sees people out of there. We also have Patrick Acuff, who does Newbie, and then he's also a licensed massage therapist. So we have 2 practitioners that kind of see our members. They see their own people as well. Same with the barbershop, but it's just kind of another amenity there that people can use and come see. What else do we have? Sauna, cold plunge, IV therapy. So we've kind of gotten away from the IV therapy situation. So we had Vitamedics in there for a while. Shout out to Narissa and her team. Love her to death. She's super awesome. They were just growing really fast and we were also growing really fast. So I had to bring somebody on for the clinic that could handle admin full time. So we brought on Kate. She's up in that office now full time. She does our blood draws and stuff, and she handles Steven's like back end admin work as well. So we ended up basically taking that over. So we don't really do IVs now, but Vitamedics, if you still want to get an IV, we allow them to use the space if you want to come get an IV.
Right.
It's really just Leader Health now. So what else? We have the meal prep service. Nick, Flex Foods, shout out my boy. So he just stocks a fridge there. You buy the meals. You can take them as you want. He also does custom meal plans and stuff. So pretty much anything that you would need, in my eyes, to like come in and just have a better day. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you want a good meal, you want a massage, you need a haircut, you get your hormones double checked, you need to get a workout in, you want to get in the sauna, you want to get in the cold plunge. Like, I mean, it's health and wellness, it's the way it should be. So
You've got some great trainers there too. Shout out to Sam.
shout out to Sam. No, we actually, so we do have, we're actually in this transition period right now of doing in-house training, and Sam is actually our head of in-house training now. So man, the energy that guy has, I mean, it is surreal. It's bar none some of the best energy I've found in an individual that's passionate about one specific thing. And it's like, when I met him, I was like, oh man, you can make so much money. I was like, if I could just like put you in an ecosystem where like you can flourish and use your personality to like develop other people into doing what they love. I mean, the sky's the limit with that guy. Right. So right now we have Sam, he's our director. He's also doing training on site, but we also have 6 full-time trainers that are in-house now too.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you had that many.
Yeah. Yeah. So I may get this wrong because I just leave it to him, but it's Matthew Sabo, Miguel Huerta, Tessie Nelson, I think is her last name. Let's cut that out. I can't remember. Tessie, and Michaela. Well, there's one more, but I can't remember off the top of my head because I stay out of it. I let them handle it outside of the financial team so they get their payouts and such. So we're doing every new member that comes in, they get a free consult with the hormone clinic and the training team. Sam will do that consult for the trainers and he'll set them up with a trainer on staff. And this is kind of like what I envision happening for the new facility too, because when we move into that much larger facility that's like front facing on the street, we're going to have a lot more walk-ins.
Yeah.
People that are just, right now our gym's kind of hidden, right?
It is, unless you know where that.
Yeah. Unless you know somebody or know something about the gym, you're not going to find it. And we have a lot of people that'll still come in today, even after being open 2 years, that are like, hey, I've lived 5 minutes down the road for the last 10 years. Like, I have never known you guys are here. So once we move right off Kirkendall and we have people that are just consistently walking in, I want to create systems for them because like I like the idea of personal, independent trainers. That's what we've kind of done up until the last few months. We've instilled this system, but I'll preface with saying that all of our trainers have a clause to where like once they do decide to leave and be independent, like we give them options on how to do that because we know it's inevitable.
Right.
Like we're just putting them in the space to grow and learn and help our business so they can help their business. They grow to a point where they do it themselves because it's inevitable for any personal trainer, in my opinion. Right.
Yeah.
And we want to give them that option. We don't want to like lock them in. So, once that happens and we move into that new space, we want to be able to cater to everybody. Right. So it's kind of the goal with that. So
How it sounds like, when you started this, obviously you have all these different systems you were talking about. So have you always been good at delegation or no?
absolutely not.
No, you had to learn this.
Yeah. It's honestly it's like developing people, and then like keeping an eye on them and then helping them and then learning with them because like, obviously I don't know everything. That's just, it is what it is. Like none of us do. And I think that, growing with people and being vulnerable to that extent is like one of the most valuable skills you can have out of anything, especially when you're trying to build stuff, because it's like, hey, may not know how to do this. You may not know how to do this. We're going to learn together. Right. And, it's different when you bring somebody in who already knows, but like, I'm more of a ground up kind of guy. Majority across my companies, I have 56 total employees.
Oh, wow.
So Leader Formulas, Leader Health, Leader Fitness, 56 total people, right? And throughout that, a lot of my people have come in and start just packing orders, right? Or, customer service emails. And then like, we kind of figure out where their strong suit is. Right?
And they
like bro, get in where you fit in. Like what's your strong suit? Like, what are you good at? Right. And then kind of feed into that and help them grow into other positions. So like, this year is actually the first year that I've hired somebody that had a significant amount of experience doing something that we needed a role for, which was a sales director for formulas to come in and had plenty of, years of experience in the industry, like going to shops and has a black book of business that knows people that can get wholesale orders. But outside of that, it's always been like, let's grow and develop and see where they fit. Right. So delegation it's also just a trust thing too, I'm grateful for it though, because like, and if I didn't have my team, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Do you feel like it frees up a lot of time for you?
Oh For sure. I think the way I put it today is like Tony and Ricky and, Miguel and Colton, and Steven, like those are kind of my heads, of the businesses that I see that, if that's who I deal with directly, and then they have people under them that have people under them. It's kind of one of those things that, like, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to focus on growing the business.
Yeah.
Like my job, I can't remember who said it. I think it was Alex. What's his name? Yeah. He said, there's like there's makers and there's managers. I'm definitely a maker. Like I'm not a manager. Like I'm not good with time slots. I'm good with honing in and focusing on building a brand or developing the brand.
So very CEO.
Yeah. But I'm not good at like, making sure somebody's doing this thing out here at this given time and then checking their, like I don't have that mindset. Like I'm all over the place. So I think that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my team.
But when do you feel like you do the best in terms of like working in your business, like coming up with your own time? Do you take time? Like, do you go for walks? What do you do?
So I recently, over the past few years, I've instilled work blocks, which is a big thing for me. So like on my work calendar, like we have across our teams, we have 7 different just huddles a week. So for each department, will have its own huddle. Then we have a manager's meeting. But outside of that, I'll set off these 46-hour work blocks a couple times a day, which is basically like where I block everything out. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I get in front of my computer and I can just
dial in.
Yeah. And it's super difficult because, that was a big thing for me was, coming to terms with the fact that like, you could work 14 hours a day, but like how much work are you really getting done?
Yeah.
Are you scrolling for 2 to 3 hours out of that day?
Exactly.
Like, are you, looking at bullshit on the internet that doesn't really pertain to what you're trying to achieve and in that given moment? Honing in on the work blocks and saying, hey, this 4-hour segment right here, like I have a meeting here, but in this 4 hours, like this is what I'm going to work on. Like I have to go through this brand deck and I figure out what I like, what I don't like, get it to the design team, like list that out. So that is super difficult, but it's helped a lot.
No, that's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah. It's important to work not only in your business, but on the business.
Exactly.
And so having that CEO time set aside, blocked in, where you're highly focused, like just knocking tasks off the list as quick as you can is, yeah.
That's also how you scale and get to the next level is taking that time.
You have to. No one else is going to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no one else is going to do it.
So speaking of calendars, you have a wife, you have a daughter.
Yes.
How do you balance your work life, you feel like, with your family life?
I've never been good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, my wife is a saint. She's like type A to a T, and like people think I'm type A, but I'm really not. Like I don't color coordinate my clothes. If you go in her closet in her office, like she has her binders or like
She's just got like a very artsy vision. Like she's good at seeing things and like I feel like creating something really pretty because she makes things look nice.
She does, yeah. She's definitely an amazing homemaker as well, for sure. Like, and I think it's those little things that I don't appreciate all the time, but I try my best to because then she'll ask me and I'm like, yeah, it looks great. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, like, I mean, it looks good, but like, I don't, like that's just not. So I think that, you have to be very, what is the word I'm looking for? You have to be very adamant about finding that time.
Yeah.
My daughter her schedule's packed. Like it really is. We're talking karate, soccer, extracurriculars with her tutor when she's going to Salem next year. And then, my wife works full time. She's in the finance side of oil and gas. So she works at a hedge fund. And then we also have a full-time nanny too. That helps a lot too. So it kind of takes the burden off those side tasks.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I'm
driving places.
Exactly.
All that.
Yeah. When I'm present, like I'm there. So I get home 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. I try to take at least 1 to 2 hours just to be there. And like, just some complete transparency. Like I go to therapy once a week. My wife goes to therapy once a week. My daughter goes to therapy. We go to therapy with her. A big thing that we try to do is just finding those 1 to 2 hours a day at the end of the day, 3 to 4 times a week, just to be present and to talk and because it's like when you and your partner are both very high performing individuals that have these crazy aspirations and goals, like sometimes it's really easy to push those things aside and be like, all right, as long as we're getting A through Z done, it's okay. But like that doesn't You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the soccer and the karate, like it's going to be there at the end of the day. Like it doesn't really matter. What matters is that time together.
Absolutely.
So it's a process for sure. Yeah.
Do you feel like, do you ever make time where you guys do have like a date night ritual? Do you have anything like for time away together?
Mainly Sundays.
Yeah.
So yeah, we recently started going to church. Excuse me, 6 months ago, we started going to Real Life.
Hey, real life's awesome.
Yeah. So we go to Real Life over off 249
Mhm.
and shout out to Pastor Steve. And so Sundays have kind of been our hone in together days where, you know, like Sabbath, like I won't focus on work. We'll spend time together. We'll go to church, then we'll go out to breakfast, and then we'll go shopping and, you know, just kind of spend the day together, right?
Yeah,
Then we'll go home, do laundry, but we're still like present with one another doing things. I think that Sunday ritual has been a big helper, you know, just that one day a week, which is nice. I was actually thinking about it. I need to take my wife out to dinner here the next week or two. I was thinking about that. You know,
Not just for Valentine's Day.
her birthday is actually the 22nd of February too, so it's
Oh, yeah.
And just like one thing after the next.
fine. She's gonna have a good February.
For Leader Fitness, kind of hinted at expansion, but tell us what the plans are for the future for you.
And such a broad question. I love to hear it though. So right now, we're in the midst of building a new facility. It's 30,000 square foot, right next to Home Depot, 99 in Kirkendall. We are doing a ground up development, which is a process in its own. Right.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have a really awesome team of developers that are handling the majority of the heavy lifting up until we get in the space. But I'm working with them very closely to oversee the process and make sure things are going as anticipated throughout the timeline. Because when it comes to commercial development, it's like, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Especially with, there's a lot of things going on with ICE, obviously, not to get political, but, you know.
No, absolutely. It's still a reality.
Yeah. Construction workers and, you know, just finding labor and, you know, it's, you know, then the weather is a factor as well. So once we get that facility up and running, I envision it being one of, if not the nicest gyms in Houston, for sure, with the amount of money, like, just the aesthetic, the look, the feel.
I will say I have been to a lot of gyms in the Houston area, and y'all are very good about keeping things very clean and having very high quality equipment.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we appreciate that. I think we take pride in those two things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And selected equipment. We don't just put anything in there that myself and my team don't appreciate and find value.
Oh yeah, Sam gets excited about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, did you check this out?
We'll get new pieces there and he like freaks out and we'll do a Saturday class on, you know, their set. That's, you know, that's a big thing too, is like the cleanliness didn't happen overnight. You know, we had to build out a system for that, right? We had to cleaning checklists for all our staff to go through at least once an hour to hit all the restrooms, hit the gym, do just general walkthroughs, you know, and I think that's super important because when you have a facility that has so many people coming and going, it'll get dirty fast.
Oh, absolutely. And people are sweating and all sorts of stuff.
So the new gym, I want to hire actually like a full-time janitorial role as somebody to come in and literally just, that's all they do. Just
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So for the equipment though, I think a big part of it is like everybody kind of has a say in it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
Yeah, your new deadlift bar.
you like it, yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank Cole and Brett for that.
Okay.
Getting a few more. Shout out to Texas Strength.
Yes.
Yeah. And Branch, they hooked us up. So we're gonna get a whole line of bars from them.
Oh, very
So
cool.
it's you know, if I see a piece of it, there's a few pieces that I got because like I love them and I know they're good pieces and they're more like collector pieces, you know, like the Atlantis hip squat and some of the prime equipment. Like I've always loved it and I was like, I want this in a facility. But if I'm gonna buy something for the gym, you know, we have a group text with anyone associated with the gym, really, you know, that's on staff.
Yeah.
I'll send it in there and be like, what do you guys think about this? And everyone kind of gets a say in it. And there's been a few times where like there's pieces that I wanted where
We got shot down.
yeah, I got shot down, you know, and I'm glad they did because in theory, like it's something I want, but that's not something that everyone else may want too. So it's about the community.
Yeah, I think you guys also have really nice like touches to it, like the kids area, and then I know in the women's restroom, like hair ties, sanitary products, like so many nice little things, just very thoughtful.
And your wife's touches.
He's good at that. when we first opened, that was something that she was like, yeah, we got to put these things in here. And I was like, it's a great idea, you know?
So speaking of, so do you and Hannah are both very high performing, like you said. Do you guys sit down each year and kind of talk about where you want the year to go? Do you do any planning in that aspect?
I mean, we have discussions like that all the time. You know, we talk about what our goals are and our dreams and our hopes. I think, you know, from a business perspective though, while my wife is involved, it's still more so like it's my passion project, focus with her work, but she gets a lot of say so and things if she has an opinion or something. Like I hear, you know, whether it be like a paint color or, you know, an idea but I think for us, when we're discussing things with our plan, it's more of like our life, our personal
That's
life.
awesome
So
too.
like,
That's good to know too, right?
yeah. So it's like, you know, do we want to stay living out? We recently moved, I would say it's far, it's 35, 40 minutes away, Grangerland, Conroe area. And,
Mhm.
you know, we wanted to get some land and kind of decompress and get away from, you know, the hustle and bustle and just have some chickens. And we kind of have all that now. We love it. It's awesome. But the drive is,
A pain in the butt.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, we'll talk about things like that. Like, what are our plans to
Yeah.
stay in this area? Do we want to move? Like, what are we doing for school? You know, do we want to take any trips? Like, you know, things like that. So business stuff, I'm all over the place. Yeah.
You guys give back to the community a lot too with your business, which is really cool. I saw that at Thanksgiving, y'all did some stuff for
Yeah.
that. So that's obviously an important aspect
It's
to what you
huge. You can only keep what you have by giving it away. A firm believer that, you know, I genuinely don't think I deserve 90% of the stuff I have today. Fully. Just, I think a big part of it's luck. The other part of it's hard work. Those are two things that I've been blessed with. You know, for the Thanksgiving thing, it was super awesome because, you know, Ricky had really orchestrated that for the most part, but it was like, you know, we were able to get with HEB and get with them and say, hey, this is what we want to do. We want to buy, feed 130 families or something like that.
Mhm.
And we were able to buy the turkeys and the meal set up. And then we had some other gyms, like Rise and Lions Den, Northside. They kind of were like, hey, we want to help you guys do this. So we all kind of got together and did it as a team, especially when, you know, we're in the same industry and we're relatively close to each other. It's like, it was cool to see us come together and be able to provide for the community.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of times rivalry between gyms,
Oh,
you know, the gym drama world stuff. But that was cool to see.
yeah, those aren't really my competitors, to be honest with you. I definitely feel that way sometimes. Like initially, like I get in it and I'll be like, man, I wonder how these guys are doing, or like, you know, what they're adding.
Yeah. But I think that's honestly like, I think it's normal to have that. That's definitely a scarcity mindset. Like we live in Houston.
Yeah.
There's so many people. There's room for everybody at the top. So I know that happens. I even saw it in like a chiropractic thread the other day. Somebody was complaining because they work in a business like this building kind of.
Like a business park.
Yeah, yeah. And then I guess there was another chiro opening up in that business and they were all worried about it. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, just focus on what you're doing and that you'll have the best impact that way.
It should make you want to work harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If they can come into your office and steal your clients, then you're doing something wrong.
Exactly.
You know, marketing, you know, brand awareness. Like there's so many, you know, yeah, there's things it's like it just drives me to want to do more. And how can I
How can it be
continue?
better? Next level.
Yeah, how can I take this and knock it up a step? You know, what's going to set us apart?
That's so cool.
That's the question. So,
I like it.
but no, I mean, just kind of touching back on giving back. You know, we didn't want it to turn into like the word where it's like we don't want to use it for like social media.
Right. You don't want it to be like, what's the word? You're doing things for.
There's like a specific
Virtue signal.
Yes, virtue signaling. Yes. We don't want virtue signal. So it's like we want to show our community that, you know, we're taking what they're giving us and we're using it to do good things. So that's important, right?
Absolutely.
But like there's a lot of things we do that we don't put online because we don't want it to look like we're trying to be like.
Mhm.
We partnered with Interfaith in the Woodlands for Christmas. We went to Treasures for Less and we filled a U-Haul up with toys of like 15 grand. Like it was
That's so cool.
so much stuff. And it was like the best feeling ever is shopping for other people. And,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you know, and not only that, it was also a really awesome team building experience where we could, you know, bring the entire staff and have them get a cart and say, all right, grab everything.
Go crazy.
Yeah, grab everything.
Yeah.
You know, and they feel good when they do that. Like it makes them feel good because they're giving back. And like that's team building. That's important.
And the impact is huge.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah.
So it does. And there's almost there. People say it's selfless, but there's a certain feeling you get from doing that.
Yeah,
It's very selfish. So I'm grateful to have the ability to do that today. And I look forward to doing things like that, but on a much, much larger scale. So it's going to be super awesome.
That is so.
It's good. We're looking forward to it.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I don't know. Good dad, I guess. Good dad, good husband. Made a difference in the community, helped other people, change lives. I think when you see people come in and they're dealing with major health issues and they're, obese and it's kind of fight or flight at a given point. And some people come in, they're like 300-400 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's like, we'll get them on a hormone regimen. We'll get them with a personal trainer. We'll get them on a diet. And in 6 months time,
makes a big impact.
Their life has changed, and that's impact you can see. And we don't really know what happens outside of the gym, how it's impacted their life. But I know what it's done for me. And I'm like, it's crazy to think that, I had a part to play in building a facility that can help people do that. So I think that's just helping people, probably.
I think that's a great legacy, honestly. Well, if people want to get hold of you, what's the best way to do it?
Just Leader Fitness. So yeah.
On Instagram, right?
Check out the Instagram, yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
Well, thank you for being on.
Thanks for being.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. We'll see you guys next week. You've been listening to Houston Hustle, celebrating the entrepreneurs who are shaping our city. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone building their own dream. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and keep hustling.